Mr. Human, congratulations on the daughter. Congrats. Great news. Fuck the countdown. I'm ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the heart of America. Here on Dalescenter. We're back. And I'm your host, Dale Tanhart. Good to be back here with the wall of Dale behind me, down here in the heart of America, ahead of the Southern 500 weekend, Darlington, Raceway, Xfinity, Cup, and we begin the show with IndyCar. Winding down the season 2023, Alex Palou versus Scott Dixon. We know Alex Palou's probably got it wrapped up, but Scott Dixon is making it interesting, right? Scott Dixon is on a tear right now. And now we head to Portland, a track that he is fantastic at. Alex Palou is a former winner here. But it's good to see you guys in the chat again. Mr. Human, Dale, John, Jeremy, Nick, Scott, the Broccoli Odd Master, Super NASCAR fan. Appreciate you guys tuning in here on a wonderful Friday morning, heading into the weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of racing, guys. It's Labor Day weekend. You got college football coming back. I think I said it. Anybody that was watching my kick stream last night, I was talking college football bets. I told you guys that I was going to bet first touchdown, a guy named Money Parks on Utah. First snap of Utah's first offensive possession. They throw a bomb to my guy, Money Parks. 23-1 first touchdown. That's a fucking hell of a way to start out the weekend. Now, I may have gone to the casino, lost about $400 on some other bets. It's fine. We're up plenty to start the weekend off. And now we talk NASCAR. Now we talk IndyCar. And really, there's nobody better in the game, in the betting game when it comes to IndyCar than my buddy RotoDoc. Good friend of the program. Phenomenal contributor to the Action Network. And a contributor to the program here on Dalescenter. So we're going to get him in here. Let's see here. There he is. You know RotoDoc's got the heat when it comes to IndyCar. So without further ado, let's get right into it, motherfuckers. We're talking bets. We're ready to go. Let's bring the man, the myth, the legend himself. RotoDoc, it is good to see you once again, my friend. We had a good time at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I didn't see what your bets were, if you won. Scott Dixon, once again, outclassed the field with strategy. That's been his forte and his team's forte, especially over the last couple weeks. Does Scott Dixon make it 3 in a row at a track that he's very good at? Are you looking at Alex Palou as a favorite, or do you have some underdogs? Usually we talk something bets, guys, before we get into this. I have no clue what RotoDoc's about to tell me, so take it away, my friend.
Yeah, that's because books didn't get their act together until super late last night. Westgate finally posted, and I see some other books have followed suit this morning.
Bet Rivers.
Namely Bet365 and Bet Rivers have also gotten their act together and gotten some lines up. But, I don't think Scott Dixon gets it done here for 3 in a row. Obviously, those 2 wins in a row both came on using one less pit stop or using fuel strategy. So, I think that seems to be the way he's going to win these days. I don't think he's going to do that here at Portland. It's not a race that tends to lend itself to that kind of thing because they, a few years ago extended it to 110 laps, which pretty much just makes it a pure 3-stop race for everybody. I can't really see anybody doing a 2-stopper here. So I'm going to say no to Scott Dixon. I'm also going to say no to Palou. Not that I think he'll be bad here, but I think there's a lot of contenders. Namely, if we look at Portland, it is a very flat road course. So its best comparison is probably the Indy GP. And then if we want to get into like secondary comparable courses, you end up getting into the street courses. So you will see for sure Scott McLaughlin, I think, should be arguably the favorite in this race. And the fact that he's not makes me want to bet him. I see him 5-1 at Bet365, 5.5-1 at Bet Rivers. And I think Westgate Superbook has him at 6-1. So if you're able to shop around, if you're in a Superbook state, Scott McLaughlin 6-1 would be my favorite for the race. But I also think it's going to be very close with those Aero McLaren cars. They were great at both Indy GP races, namely Pato O'Ward and Alexander Rossi. Now, certainly Rosenquist, I think, is interesting. He's 30-1 at some books. I think he's 30-1 at Westgate as well. So Rosenquist pretty interesting, but I'd look at him more like at a top 5 bet when Caesars ends up posting. I really like Pato Award. Really like Alexander Rossi. Rossi has the best average finish at Portland since they returned to Portland in 2018 among all drivers. So I think that's very interesting to note. He is 16-1 at Bet Rivers and a Bet 365. So that's where I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at Arrow McLaren, looking at Scott McLaughlin as my favorites. But I will say, 2 other teams we shouldn't count out. Team Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing. I used to call them, Team Rahal from way back in the day. I do think we need to look at Christian Lundgaard, very strong here last year. Graham Rahal also very strong here last year, and both, of course, very strong at the most similar track, Indy GP, at both Indy GP races. Of course, Graham Rahal coming in bridesmaid to Scott Dixon at that Indy GP race. So I think especially with Rahal, you can look at him a top 3, top 5 bet. Right now I see his top 3 at Bet Rivers at 6-1. So really like Ericsson and Rahal. And then finally, got to go with my guy, Kyle Kirkwood.
Of course.
He is in play. He is in play this weekend for Portland. He has won 5 out of the 6 Portland races in the road to Indy that he participated in. The other one, he finished second place to little Dave Malukas. And last year, with AJ Foyt Racing. Yes, the lowly bottom tier AJ Foyt Racing. He started 13th, finished 13th, which doesn't sound amazing, but in that car, that's amazing. And then, Indy GP, he had a really good car the first race, but he had an incident with Will Power on the first lap, got penalized, sent to the rear, made his way back up to 14th on a mostly green flag race. And then second Indy GP, he had the 7th best car. If you look at the speed tracer, even though he finished 9th, he was definitely a 7th place car. It's just so tough to pass there. So I think with Portland being a little more street circuity compy as well, we could see him flirting with the podium as well. So that's kind of where I'm looking for my bets, top 5s, top 3s. I think the guy to win is Scott McLaughlin, and I don't mind if you want to put win bets on Pato Ward, Alexander Rossi as well.
That's what I was going to ask next, but you've already answered everything. That's just phenomenal analysis by RotoDoc there. I was going to tell you I've already bet on Pato Award plus 650. Hope I didn't jump the gun because Caesars could drop and he could be somewhere 7-1, maybe 8-1.
Yeah, I haven't bet anything yet. I'm just waiting out the
What is Caesars? What are we doing at Caesars right now, man? What's going on? I mean, this is ridiculous.
NFL focused or something, I don't know, but not too thrilled about it. Earlier in the year, they had lines out on a Tuesday at one point this year. And I'm not talking the Indy 500. I'm talking a race or two after the 500. They had lines out on a Tuesday at one point earlier this year. Now it's Friday. We have cars on track in less than 12 hours, and we do not have lines yet. So I don't know what Caesar's doing. It's very frustrating.
Yes,
I haven't made a bet at all yet, but obviously, we'll tweet it out. We'll post it in the Action Discord when I do.
Be sure you're following the RotoDoc for all of his bets once we get more out there and leading into practice qualifying and after practice and qualifying as well. I'm on Pato. I hate to say it. I feel like I'm going to be on Scott Dixon just because when the momentum's right, the momentum's right. Like you said, though, strategy may not be as big of a factor here, but, man, the Iceman is just the fucking Iceman sometimes. And he's hot.
He's
hot.
It's good to see him continue that consecutive years win streak. We're at like 18 or 19 now or something. That's pretty awesome. The only year he didn't have a win, full-time year, was he actually got a win in his rookie year. I know you know, but for those who don't, he got a win in his rookie year with a team called Pac West Racing. They didn't win a lot, but they occasionally got some wins.
I remember that.
Year was 2001. 2002, he moved from Pac West to Chip Ganassi Racing after the 3rd race of the season. Did not win then. 2003, he grabbed a win. And then 2004, and that was when Ganassi moved to the IndyCar series. And then 2004, for whatever reason, that G-Force Toyota in 2004 was abysmal. And Ganassi themselves as a whole were down. I don't think the team won a single race all year. If they did, it was maybe 1 or 2. Yeah, Dario Franchitti won 2 races, but he wasn't on Target then. Target Chip Ganassi.
He was with Andretti, wasn't he?
It was Scott Dixon running the full year, and Darren Manning ran. And Darren Manning didn't, he finished behind Scott Dixon in the standings. Dixon finished 10th. Manning finished 11th. So the last time Scott Dixon did not win a race was 2004.
The Iceman. He's been consistent. He's one of the GOATs in IndyCar, and I'll be on him this weekend. RotoDoc, my guy, I appreciate you. Good luck with your bets. And like I said, be following him for everything he's got going on Twitter, Action Network, all his podcasts. Good luck this weekend, not just for IndyCar, but for NASCAR as well. Hopefully we'll bring home some money bags. Oh, and for college football as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about the Southern 500.
It's going to be a fun weekend. That is Mr. RotoDoc, big friend of the show here on Dalescenter, Action Network. Be sure you're following him. He is a betting god, not just in IndyCar, but in several sports. And that's a good segue here as we talk about other sports besides the IndyCar series. I want to say hey to some guys in the chat. C. Ryan UF did not come here to hear that. I saw your message and I was like, what is he talking about? I was like, this guy's a fucking Florida fan, and he heard about my Money Parks Utah bet. So I hate that. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But I kind of thought, I think I said it on that same stream yesterday. I was like, dude, this Graham Mertz guy is going to fucking suck. I did say that. I was like, I don't think he's going to be very good. Wisconsin quarterbacks, since Russell Wilson left, have been very, very shaky. And that was fucking 10, 11 years ago, right? So then there may have been a couple good ones in between. But I was worried about that. Nako, man, good to see you. Nick Macbeth, good to see you as well. Grant, Gibby, Exit, Ricky, good to see you guys. I will not be in Darlington. I have to go to my fantasy football draft on a beach and serve my last place punishment. For the first time in like 14 years, I finished last in my league. So I'm going to get fucked this weekend. But I will be watching Darlington and a lot of college football while getting hazed throughout the entire weekend. So I will not be at Darlington. I think I'll be at Bristol. If you guys are going to Bristol, I think I'll be there. And then I think I'll be at Homestead as well. Moving on. Lines at the bottom of your screen, courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. Only thing here to note is that they have not listed Denny Hamlin in their lines on outrights. They have Denny in their top threes, but not in their outrights. So what I did, I added Denny Hamlin there in the bottom of your screen, and that line is courtesy of Caesars, plus 250. That's basically where he's at everywhere. And if you look at Denny Hamlin's resume here at Darlington, it is phenomenal. You're going to see a 38th place finish back in 2020 or 2019. That's because he won the race and got disqualified. So you look at Denny Hamlin's resume, it is phenomenal at Darlington. You know, I tweeted out in the teaser, like, you got Larson versus Denny. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, I think Denny Hamlin plus money in a matchup is a good bet against Kyle Larson. When you look at these guys head-to-head and their history together in the Xfinity Series at Darlington, Denny Hamlin has gotten the better of Kyle Larson most of the time. And he's won this race like 36 times. I mean, he's a Darlington beast. I think you can also look at that. If you look at Denny Hamlin's history here on like Racing Reference, there's a P12. You're saying, oh, that's nothing. Well, he was dominating that entire race. I think it was won by Noah Gragson in 2021. Denny dominated, led a lot of laps, and he sped on pit road second to last caution, and that's why he finished 12th. So you look outside of those two finishes, it's ridiculous, right? He's contended for a win just about every single time he's hopped in one of these cars. While I'm not saying I'm on him outright just yet, I think there is value for him to beat Kyle Larson. Best line I've seen is plus 115 over on DraftKings, I believe. Head-to-head against Larson. Maybe another book, but love that bet. And with these guys, you have Kyle Busch in this race as well. We're going to find value on some of these Xfinity regulars, right? Cole Custer is excellent at Darlington. He's got 4 starts, 1 win, 3 top 3 finishes. Never finished worse than like 9th, I believe. So 9th or 7th, whatever. 4 top 10s and 4 starts, 3 in the top 5 and 1 win. Cole Custer's been really good at Darlington. John Hunter Nemechek, another guy, great at Darlington. I've already got him locked in, 9-1. Barstool has since moved to 7-1. And I'm going to check right here over on Caesars. 9-1 is still available for John Hunter Nemechek. Remember, rewind to the spring race. It was him versus Kyle Larson. Crazy good finish, crazy good race. Nemechek wrecks coming to the line. Still gets a top 5, but was battling one of the best in the business for the win. So John Hunter Nemechek, when you look at his experience with Sam Hunt Racing last year, couple top 10s. Truck Series experience, a win, another top 3, another top 10. And then earlier this year, battling for the win on the final lap. John Hunter is really good at Darlington. I think if there's one non-Cup regular, or not Cup regular, if there's an Xfinity regular, a non-Cup cherry-picking motherfucker, take a look at John Hunter Nemechek, and then take a look at Cole Custer as well. Right now, Cole Custer's trending around 19-1, 20-1. I think that's a good bet. You can get plus 500 for a top 3 on Cole Custer over on DraftKings. Great line, in my opinion. If you look at Kyle Busch, this 10 car has just not had the speed. It's had a lot of gremlins. I'm not a fan of betting on Kyle Busch, even at 6-1, 7-1. They just don't have the speed. They've had problems. So, I can't do Kyle Busch in that Kaulig number 10 car. They've called it an all-star car. Really hadn't been that unless A.J. Allmendinger's been in. And even A.J. Allmendinger himself has had some problems on the road courses when we talk about that number 10 car. So, don't like Kyle Busch. We have an opportunity here, especially with the beef between Larson and Hamlin. What if they get together, right? What if they have a problem? What if they run each other over? That is totally possible when you look at the trends of finishes at Darlington in the Xfinity Series, right? Denny Hamlin versus Ross Chastain, 2020. Chase Briscoe versus Kyle Busch, 2020. What was it? John Hunter Nemechek versus Kyle Larson earlier this year. Last year in this race, Kyle Larson versus Noah Gragson versus Sheldon Creed. Crazy-ass finishes happen. People are going to run over each other. It's the nature of this race. It's phenomenal. It's fun, but it can be a heartbreaker in betting. And because of that, I think you have an opportunity here to look at the Nemecheks, the Cole Custers, a Sheldon Creed, who is really good here as well. He's trending around 20, 25-1. And I think a couple guys that are being undervalued, in particular on Barstool Sportsbook. Sammy Smith is in a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, and he is 50-1. Plus 875 for a top 3. Chandler Smith, who's won a race this year, on intermediates in particular, has been really strong. 70-1. I get it. He's a rookie. Rookies are not great at Darlington. But Chandler Smith has been exceptional in 2023. He's kind of been on a slump recently, but early portion of the year when we had a lot of these intermediates like Vegas, like a Kansas, Chandler Smith, Fontana, throw Fontana in there as well. Chandler Smith has been good. His car's been really fast. I'm not saying put a fucking $100 on it, but Chandler Smith, 70-1, I think, has some kind of value. I really, really believe that. And then you look at Caesars. I'll give out a few more here, and then we're going to move on to the Cup Series. But look at Caesars Sportsbook. Click the Xfinity Series. The Sports Clips, haircuts, VFW Help a Hero 200. Love that as a veteran thing, but Sports Clips fucking sucks at giving haircuts. But regarding what they're doing for veterans, I think that's what this is. That's good stuff. Top 5 bets. Chandler Smith plus 600 for a top 5. Kind of like that. Sammy Smith plus 500 for a top 5. Like that as well. And then I'm looking at Corey Heim 11-1 for a top 5. Let's dig back. Sam Hunt Racing, who has had some struggles in the Xfinity Series, one of their best tracks has been Darlington. John Hunter Nemechek has had top 10s here. Kaz Grala has had a top 10 here. And somebody else earlier in 2023 took one of their cars to a top 10, I believe. And I'm going to pull that up because my Google Chrome just crashed and fucked up my some of my data points here. But I think both Sam Hunt Racing cars finished in the top 10 earlier this year. Yep. Corey Heim already ran here and got a top 10. Kaz Grala ran here, got a top 10. Kaz Grala, if you're interested in that, for a top 5 on Caesars Sportsbook is 18-1. I don't like that as much as a Corey Heim top 5 because I think Corey Heim is going to be a star in this series. He's already got experience at this track. This team in particular has had a lot of good runs at Darlington dating back to 2022. Give me Corey Heim 11-1 for a top 5. I think that's a good value bet. You get a little bit of chaos. This is a guy that's going to flirt around the top 10. Maybe you get some speeding penalties, like I said earlier. Get some guys that run over each other, typical Darlington style. Corey Heim top 5, 11-1 has some good value. Alex, good to see you. Eric, welcome. Troy, Creed for all the money. Look, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to say much about Sheldon. He's going to be on the betting card. Guaranteed. S. Brady, great information right there. Just in case everybody doesn't know, FanDuel has a 50% profit boost today. Can use it on anything. Wow, that's awesome. If you don't like the 10, how can you bet on C. Smith? Well, because the 10 car is 6 to 1, and the 16 car, who is, I mean, literally Chandler Smith has outraced Kyle Busch this year. We're looking at a difference between 6 to 1 and 70 to 1 for the same equipment. And the 10 car has had more gremlins. The 10 car all year long has been less consistent on making it to the finish and having raw speed. Now, AJ Allmendinger won Nashville. He won a road course race. But, as I said, Chandler Smith, I think, has a lot of value considering how he's run this year in that equipment. So, 70 to 1, I think, is just kind of absurd value. It's something I think I'd bet down to 50 to 1, 45 to 1. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Chris, good to see you. Jeremy says Kevin Harvick 18 to 1, Brad K 16 to 1, Blaney 22 to 1 is going to be the sprinkle trio of the weekend. Okay. Do not bet Barry on top 5 on Caesar, whatever you do. Why is that? What am I missing? Plus 190? What's wrong with that? Josh Berry's been kind of good here. You can do a profit boost on Ford outright to get plus 540. That's crazy. I think if a Ford wins this weekend, it's going to be Kevin Harvick. I don't see Logano winning. I don't think they've had the speed. I don't see Ryan Blaney winning. Just hasn't been exceptional at Darlington. If a Ford wins this race, I think it's going to be Kevin Harvick. Brad K, maybe a sleeper. But Kevin Harvick, I got a feeling. I know I'm wearing the 29. Yep. You like that? Yes, you do. I know. But Kevin Harvick, I've got my eye on this weekend. I really hadn't bet on Kevin Harvick a whole lot in 2023. So, love old K-Harv. This is a really, really good track for him, regardless of what car he's in. But there you go. I hope that's good enough analysis for you on the Xfinity series. I think John Hunter... Why can I not say this motherfucker's name, dude? He pisses me off. He really pisses off a lot of people. He's good for NASCAR. He is a villain. He just is a fucking little motherfucker, John Hunter Nemechek. I have half of his face right here. I ripped it up after I bet the retirement fund on him in a truck race. This is what we have left. But look, I do like John Hunter this weekend. You will see him in top plays at the end of the show. I think a John Hunter Nemechek top 5 at plus money is awesome bet. It's not a lock of the universe, but it is a fucking awesome bet. That's my opinion there. But I hope that was good enough analysis for you on the Xfinity series. Sports Clips, Haircuts, VFW, Help a Hero 200. Let's move right in to the NASCAR Cup Series. The Southern 500, one of the best race weekends of the year. Grit, grind, do what you got to do to win this race. The Xfinity race is going to be better, right? Like, we know that. But the Cup race here is always amazing, regardless of what car we run. It's Darlington. It's a 500-mile race under the lights on Sunday night. So it's going to be a fun one. Odds on the bottom of your screen, courtesy of Barstool Sportsbook. I'll make it real simple for you guys. I got 2 outrights. Ross Chastain, 11 to 1. I don't know if that line still exists. I just can't see how you don't put something on that. I'd bet Chastain down to probably 10 to 1 before qualifying. If you look at the speed Chastain has had at this track, he can't get the finishes. Hasn't been able to get the finishes when you look at Spring 22 and Spring 23 as well when he wrecked with Larson on one of the final restarts. The speed is there. I mean, he's led a bunch of laps. He's won stages. This has been a good track for him. This is a Ross Chastain style racetrack. Love 11 to 1 on Ross. And then Kyle Busch, 12 to 1. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Kyle Busch not making the round of 12. I'm shocked by that. I am. I think this is right in Kyle Busch's wheelhouse. If you look at higher wear intermediates, this, Fontana, Kyle Busch has been really fast, right? So, love Kyle Busch. This has historically been a good track for him besides like the last 2 years. Last year was one of the main guys that could have won this race, and he blew an engine. All the Toyotas exploded, fell apart, and that costed a Truex win, a Kyle Busch win, when they were both in prime position to get it done. So, we talk about Truex. He's trending around 5-1. I don't want to pull the trigger on that yet, because if somebody like William Byron, who's been amazing at qualifying, goes out, gets the pole, maybe Truex qualifies 7th, 8th. I don't expect a Truex pole sweep. Like, he did get the pole in May. I don't expect him to get the pole again. He rarely gets the pole. So, let's hope he qualifies somewhere, bottom of the top 10, maybe outside the top 10. You get a better line on Truex potentially. I just don't think it's going to shrink. I don't think you're going to see less than 5-1 on every single book. So I think it's worth waiting on Truex. But Kyle Busch, not a teammate anymore, but talking about the two best guys here in fall of 2022 were Truex and Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch has had the speed this year to get it done. Give me Kyle Busch 12-1. You can still find that line. I'm looking at it right now on Bet Rivers. I think I got it on DraftKings earlier this week. So love 12-1 for Kyle Busch, 11-1 for Ross Chastain. Bet Chastain down to 10-1. And I think I'm feeling pretty good about outrights heading into the weekend. That is, of course, if you don't feel the energy for Kevin Harvick. I need to call Garage Guy Chase, who you will see here shortly on the program. I need to get a Harvick talisman going. I need to get a Harvick talisman for Kevin Harvick going this weekend. 16-1, 18-1, both good lines. I don't think you're going to see a lot of movement. Take it while you can. Half unit is what I got, I believe. Love Kevin Harvick this weekend. So those are my 3 outrights heading into the Southern 500. And there is more to come later in the program. But for now, let's get right into the Wall of Dale. I'm just going to give you some guys that I like. And I'm going to use the Dead to Dale right beneath Austin Cindric to specify my first 4 out predictions, right? Everybody's given their predictions. I gave my predictions on the Garage Guys NASCAR podcast, the 4 guys that I think will not advance in the playoffs. We'll start off there, and then we'll get into who I'm putting up on the wall, who I feel like is going to deliver this weekend. I need thumbtacks, though. All right. My predictions for the 4 guys that will miss the round of 12. I'm going to start out with the one that I think surprises a lot of people. If Discord Trevor's in here, he's going to be upset. I think Joey Logano, the defending champion, will not make the next round of the playoffs. Get him up there with his Penske teammate. Another one that's going to surprise some people. You cannot make mistakes. If you make mistakes at this time of the season, you're toast. I love the Red Dog. You guys know I love Red Dog. Good friend of the program. But you cannot make mistakes, and they've been really fast, but they have made too many mistakes, whether it's been driver inflicted or on pit road. I think Tyler Reddick will miss the round of 12. And once again, man, I hate it. I'm rooting for this guy. You guys know I'm rooting for him. Another great friend of the program. But I just think they don't have enough compared to the other teams in the playoffs. I'm out of thumbtacks already. I think Ricky Stenhouse will not make the round of 12. So I'm going to put Ricky up there as well. And I can't find my picture of Mike McDowell, Mike McCool, Mike McCheese, whatever you want to call him. I think Michael McDowell is the other guy that will not advance in the playoffs. I just don't have his fucking picture, and I could not find it. So there you have it. The one pick I don't have, doesn't matter. You know Mike McDowell's my other guy that I think will not advance in the playoffs. I'm going to have to grab some thumbtacks, guys. Hold on. I'm going to have to grab some fucking thumbtacks. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Somebody's definitely going to be getting fired for this. We're firing the intern again. We're not done yet. If you're just joining, we're just getting started. Don't be afraid. I'm just looking for thumbtacks. That's it. I'm just looking for thumbtacks. Where the fuck are they? I'm telling you, I had like a huge pack of them and they're gone. All right, we got enough. I think we got enough now. All right, welcome back. Sorry for the minor inconvenience. These are my guys that I like this weekend. I'm going to keep it short and simple. Don't want to overflow the wall. You know I like Sheldon Creed. You know I like a Denny Hamlin in a matchup. Ross Chastain is already up on the wall. If you look over here, right there, Ross Chastain is under the if Brad Keselowski and Dale Earnhardt had a baby series. So Ross is already up there. Chris Buescher's a 401k. I keep getting my size mixed up here. Chris Buescher, there you go. 401k Grand National Champion for his 80-1 hit for me at Richmond. Austin Cindric is permanently dead to Dale. If you don't know why, just ask the chat. They'll help you out. And then Daniel Hemrick is in motherfucking Dalescenter prison because he is just terrible. All right. First off, I already talked about him. Going up, a guy that I think will be doing it for Dale this weekend, John Hunter Nemechek. Half of John Hunter Nemechek's face. Doing it for Dale this weekend. I think you got to bet on him 9-1, plus money for a top 5. Have to. Auto bet. He's very good at Darlington. Next up, I hate this guy in the Xfinity series. I hate him on Saturday, but I love him on Sunday, and that is Mr. Kyle Busch. Next up, I'm going to pin these two together because I just can't find enough thumbtacks. They are both Stewart-Haas guys, so it's fair. There's going to be a bet at some point this weekend on Cole Custer. And then, so yeah, we got Cole Custer, 2 for 1 right here. I love Cole this weekend. He's really good at Darlington. And then Mr. Kevin Harvick. I need Chase to give me a Harvick talisman this weekend. I hope he does here in this segment for Chase for the Cup. Regardless, we got to get the energy around Kevin Harvick. I love Mr. Happy Harvick this weekend. I think there's a great chance he gets that first win of 2023 and fucking catapults into the next round of the playoffs. Cole Custer, Kevin Harvick. So there you have it. We made that nice and easy. We made that pretty seamless. That's the Wall of Dale. Good to have the Wall of Dale back on the program. It's been a crazy few weeks. Been all out of sorts on how we do things. We have a new YouTube for the Garage Guys. We're splitting the betting from the entertainment driver interviews. So now we have 2 YouTube channels. This YouTube channel, obviously, all the betting picks and content. And then our new Garage Guys YouTube is for all the motorsports news, entertainment, all of the shorts, all the shit I do on TikTok and Instagram is going to be posted there. So we're splitting up the channels. I think is a good idea. Chase agrees. So keep that in mind. Be sure to subscribe to the new Garage Guys channel as well if you like all the entertainment news style shit that Chase does. And I've got something in the works as well in the future here. So fun stuff going on. Troy says, feels like Harvick is done. Bad body language. Ooh, I hate that. Don't like that. Super NASCAR fan, Harrison Burton also got a top 10. He was plus 850, yeah. Yeah, actually Harrison Burton, I think, has run top 20 in all of his Darlington starts. Could be wrong. Somebody fact check me there. But Harrison Burton could be a good bet. I think Austin Dillon could be a good bet for a top 10. He's run top 20 in 12 of 14 Darlington starts. That's really good, actually. Like, that's pretty consistent. Wait, I do want to check that, though. Is that correct? Hold on. That sounds too good to be true. I thought I read that earlier on driver averages. I want to check that because that's a really good stat. Like, if you got a guy that floats around the top, inside the top 20, all you need is like a couple things to happen, and then they're right there for a top 10. Very underrated stat. Here you go. Austin Dillon has 14 starts at Darlington. 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 12 top 20s. To me, that's an important stat. Because if you're looking at a line for Austin Dillon, you got to think to yourself, okay, basically 90% of the time, this guy is inside the top 20, which is close enough to justify a top 10 bet. I don't know what Dillon's line is, but check it out. That's a really, really underrated stat this weekend, and it caught my eye when I was looking at some data. So 12 top 20s and 14 starts. That is consistency. That is a good resume. This is a good Austin Dillon track. So keep that in mind if you want underdog top 10s. But without further ado, let's move in to the recurring segment of the show. Sorry, my overlays are kind of funky. Bring back the Garage Guy himself. It is Garage Guy Chase on this week's edition of Chase for the Cup.
Hello, I'm Chase Holden, and this is Chase for the Cup on Dalescenter. Welcome. We're going to chase some cups. It's Darlington. It is the official beginning of the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. We're excited. A lot to be excited about. A lot of crazy things have transpired over the last 7 days, and now we're getting into the thick of it, as some would say. Before I get into my bets that I have for you to probably log, I'd like to say Garage Guys officially has a new YouTube channel. That's right. We have decided to split up both channels. One for entertainment in racing, one for betting in racing. You are now watching the Garage Guys NASCAR betting YouTube channel. It has been rebranded. You're here for bets. But whenever you're done watching Dalescenter, I want you to scroll up to the top of our YouTube channel page. You will see where you can subscribe to the new Garage Guys channel. That's where you're going to find the Garage Guys report. That's where you're going to find Garage Guys driver interviews and a whole bunch of other crazy content. So if you consider yourself a fan of Garage Guys, make sure you do that before you leave the YouTube channel today. Okay? That was a rhyme. Let's talk about Darlington. 2 drivers that are in the playoffs. 1 driver that is not in the playoffs that I'm going to have bets on. But we're going to kick it off with Kevin Harvick. I found a line on him 18-1 over on DraftKings, and I'm loving this, guys. Look. This is man's last year in the NASCAR Cup Series. He is retiring. Rodney Childers talks to God. All of it's ending, okay? The memes, the talismans, everything that we've done, this is the beginning of the end for K-Harv. And I cannot see a world where he does not get a win this year. He's got to be one of those drivers in a retirement year that makes it happen. I want to believe this is a track that he can get it done at. And when you're just looking back at some of these statistics from old K-Harv, I mean, you literally go to Racing Reference, go to driveraverages.com, look at what I'm staring at right here. He finished second here earlier in the year. We know that he has what it takes at the Lady in Black. So when I see a line for him to win at 18-1, I'm going to ride the shit out of it. It's just all honesty. And look, the man hasn't had a bad run here since last year in this race, 2022, where he had an exhaust issue. You know, it is what it is. But every other race he's ever had here, we're talking top 10, top 5, top 3 category. You'd be an idiot not to have something on Kevin Harvick this weekend, so don't be an idiot. do what I do. Bet on Kevin Harvick. Maybe make a talisman. I'm not going to force you, but I know I am. The next driver that I have for you guys that I'm betting on this week at Darlington has got to be Tyler Reddick, 14-1 over on MGM Sportsbook. And, you know, Reddick has been kind of an up-and-down driver here. We have seen him have some success. We have seen him have some failures, but mostly successes. He did finish 22nd earlier in the year at this track. Last year, though, in September, he finished 3rd, and that was with RCR. So in his entire time with RCR, it definitely got better with the next-gen car. I'm looking at him now in the 45 with 23.11. I like his odds and his chances, and do not forget, you heard it from me first. I tweeted about it a couple weeks ago. There will be some pit crew changes to this man's car in the pits. Excuse me, I had to burp. He is going to be okay. Believe in the Red Dog. Never think for a second that we could just forget everything the Red Dog has given us. If there's an oval track that I want to bet on him at, it's going to be right here this weekend. I love 14-1 on MGM Sportsbook. Ride it or don't. I don't care. The third bet. Now, this one I found insane. The third outright. That's right. I'm on 3 guys, y'all. 3 guys for Darlington. My third one I found absolutely nuts. I had to blink about 20 times. I had to slap myself in the face. Like, a little tappy tap. You know, sometimes you got to do that. When you see that a man like Chase Elliott, even with the woes he has had this year, could be placed at 20-1 on Bet Rivers to win this race. 20-1 on Bet Rivers. I am taking all kinds of advantage of this sports book. Maybe there's a small child that sets the odds at Bet Rivers, and he's going to cry this weekend. I can only think that he might get fired. You can think what you want. You can say what you want. There has never been a better time for Chase Elliott to win a race than this week. We are coming off of his first stint in a long time where he has not made the playoffs, guys. A long time. Bet Rivers is going to go and put him at 20-1 to win this race. I want all of it. Look, I know that Chase maybe has not had, the greatest runs at Darlington. Maybe some ups and downs. He finished 3rd here earlier in the season. This race last year had a little dang-you. It is what it is. It happens. But we have seen Clyde, a.k.a. Bill's boy, a.k.a. Chase Elliott, a.k.a. Hooters man, be a little bit more consistent, I would say, in the last few years. And I know that that's a big jump between 2021 to 2022 with the new car, but I'm willing to bet that there is a fire lit under that man's ass, and you'd be crazy to think that he can't get a win, especially looking back to last year when we had non-playoff drivers doing all sorts of winning things in the playoffs. Don't count Chase Elliott out this weekend. 20-1 on Bet Rivers. Still mind blown by that. And I have one top 10 bet that I'm going to go ahead and lay down for you guys. It's a top 10 bet that I've been riding all year long. It's nothing new. It's Austin Dillon, plus 550 on Barstool Sportsbook. Dillon has shown that he has what it takes for the Lady in Black. He's shown us some good finishes here. You want to believe in the man. When I'm looking at his record here, yes, over the last 2 years, he has not been able to cross that finish line with a top 10. He has had a record number 1, 2, 3 races where he has gotten the top 10, but it's the energy behind AD3 that I believe in, the energy with RCR, the car, the program. I'm here for it. Austin Dillon, top 10 plus 550 on Barstool. Those are my bets. This is Chase for the Cup. Be sure to be following me on Action Network to see the rest of my bets before Sunday. And don't forget to come sweat bets with me on playback.tv/GarageGuys We're going to be in there live. We're going to have some special guests. I want to see you there in the chat, so don't be late. Make it a date. This is Chase for the Cup. I'm Chase Holden, and enjoy the rest of Dalescenter. Goodbye.
All right, there you have it. That is Garage Guy Chase with Chase for the Cup. Okay, I didn't listen, but I did see the Harvick 18-1. That's what I like to see. And you guys were talking Austin Dillon. I mentioned Austin Dillon. I don't know what his reasoning was, but I got the fucking stats. And plus 550 for a top 10, not a bad play, I think. Real quick, as you see my parlay on the bottom of your screen, my friend Guy, if you've watched Dalescenter all the time, a few times I've filmed it in Nashville at my friend Guy's house, and he will come through and give a random bet for baseball or soccer because he's a degenerate sports bettor himself. So I'll bring Guy in here real quick to give us a soccer bet, a.k.a. a not a sport bet. Tell me what you got.
But if it does hit, then it is a sport today, Dale.
That's fair. Okay.
So we're taking our talents to the Italian Soccer League. Serie A, as they call it, if you find it on your book, Serie A or Serie A. It's AC Milan versus AS Roma, two of the better teams in the Italian league. We got Christian Pulisic, an American, on AC Milan now. I'm taking both teams to score in that game. It's a minus 110, so it's great value, I think, for two really good teams. AC Milan, if you want to get an additional bet, I would take them on the money line. I think they win that game easy. But both teams are scoring in that game.
Lock of the century. Okay, I might ride that. I feel convinced. Both teams to score. AC Milan and who? What is the other one?
AS Roma.
AS Roma. Okay. All right. Got it. There you go. There's a soccer bet for you, ladies and gentlemen. Now you see the parlay on the bottom of your screen. The Tan Heart Triple Crown is back, ready to go. Courtesy of Bet Rivers this weekend. This will be my first ever Bet Rivers parlay, actually. So fun stuff. I got to take advantage of that FanDuel boost. Thank you for sending that. That's insane. Double for whatever, any bet you want to do. Love that. Anyway, the parlay on the bottom of your screen via Bet Rivers, the Tan Heart Triple Crown. Kyle Busch over Tyler Reddick in the Cup Series. It's easy to get confused here, right? In the Cup Series, Kyle Busch over Tyler Reddick. Pato Award top 3 in the IndyCar race. That's plus 160 straight up. Throw that in there. And then, easy to get confused, Hamlin over Larson plus money over on Bet Rivers. That is the Xfinity Series, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. So, Xfinity Series, Hamlin over Larson. Pato Award top 3 in the IndyCar race. And then Busch over Reddick in the Cup race. That is a 9-1 parlay right there. I feel pretty good about that. I think that is a great parlay. Pato Award has 2 consecutive top 3s in a row. He's been so close to winning. I would take him outright as well. As I said earlier, I already have, plus 650. And then add the top 3 in there for a parlay, and I think we're looking pretty damn good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the top plays. I'm not going to do the parlay segment because you guys have not brought the fucking heat the last few times I've done the parlay segment. If you've got parlays, show them to me. Send them to me. If I decide that I really like it, I'll read it out, and I'll take it. Easy as that. But I'm not going to waste my time just waiting on you guys to send the motherfucking parlays. All right? You got to have them ready, locked and loaded, ready to go. But that's okay. No problems there. Let's get right into it for the Dalescenter top plays. Dalescenter top plays. Where is my overlay? Is it gone? There it is. Dalescenter top plays of the weekend. We're starting out top play number 5 via Bet Rivers. I feel pretty good, and I might add a Scott McLaughlin outright after talking to RotoDoc. Hell, honestly, 4 outrights could be the play here. Scotty Mack, Scott Dixon, Pato Award, Kyle Kirkwood. I kind of like that 4 outright play right there heading into the weekend. But 2 guys I really like. If you don't want to lay the juice on all 4 of those guys, let's start with Pato Award, Scott Dixon. 2 of the guys that are hotter than anybody in the IndyCar series right now. Pato Award, like I said, 2 consecutive top 3s. Dying for a win. And Aaron McLaren, good here. RotoDoc's high on Aaron McLaren, so that makes me feel better about Pato Award. And then Scott Dixon. Yes, he's won by strategy, not just raw speed, But when Scott Dixon gets hot, or alternatively becomes the Iceman, he's fucking hard to stop. So 8-1 Scott Dixon, Pato Ward plus 650. Like those two lines heading into the weekend. Top play number 5. Reed says somebody dropped the new Garage Guys YouTube link. Hold on. I will take care of that. I will take care of that. Number 4, as I mentioned early in the program. 2 outrights for Cup. Well, 3 with Kevin Harvick. But Harvick, yes, his stats are good. I'm a little worried about the speed, but I really want the energy around Harvick. The calamity we've seen in this race over the years, I don't feel terrible about betting on Kevin Harvick. I've already done it. But similarly to Dalescenter top play number 5, top play number 4, if you want 2 outrights that I feel like you're feeling pretty good about heading into the weekend, pre-practice, pre-qualifying, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch. You're paying 10-1, 11-1, 12-1 for these guys that I think will both be top 5 contenders on Sunday night. To me, the value is there. If they go out and qualify well, you won't get these lines. If they qualify first, second, third, fourth in the top 5, which they both have done at Darlington in the Gen 7 era, these lines could disappear. 11-1, 12-1, love them heading into the weekend. I will send this link to the chat real quick. Hold on. Bear with me. You're going to watch that scroll across your screen just a little bit longer. Just a little longer. No problem. Boom. Sending the link to the new Garage Guys here right now. Made sure my intern, Hart Tandale, took care of it for you guys. All right, there you go. Top play number 4, easy. I've already talked about it, but I'm just adding on. Especially if you weren't here at the beginning of the program, you don't like rewinding. This is an hour-long program most of the time. Just reiterating. This is reiteration for bets I really fucking like for Darlington this weekend. Moving on, Dalescenter top play number 3. A bet that I did not really talk about. Got to give you some kind of surprise. You know I'm high on John Hunter Nemechek. You know I'm low on Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series. I want the Joe Gibbs power over this 10 car that has not had the power for the majority of 2023. It's had gremlins. It's had issues. Kyle Busch has not even been close to winning in this number 10 car, while John Hunter has been the juggernaut of the Xfinity Series, and he's a plus money underdog. Plus 120 to Kyle Busch. Love this bet. It will be on my betting card this weekend. I think I explained everything I need to say there and earlier in the program. Just more reiteration, and in this way, or in this sense, another bet to add on to the John Hunter Nemechek train. Plus 120 over Kyle Busch, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. I think this bet is great value. Great fucking value when you consider how 2023 has unfolded. Dalescenter top play number 2. We're sticking with him. Mr. John Hunter Nemechek, top 5 plus 150 via Barstool Sportsbook. I helped contribute to moving that line. Now it's minus 115, but do not panic because you can still get a top 5 on John Hunter plus 140 right now on Caesar Sportsbook. So you didn't miss out too badly because you can still get that plus 20 top 5. I think is another great value bet. If there's one Xfinity regular that's going to show up and compete for the win with these Cup guys, it's going to be John Hunter Nemechek. 100,000%. He'll be there. He'll be in contention, and he's going to be tough to beat. So love him for a top 5 plus money. I think that is a 2-unit play. And then we go a half unit on 9-1. Feel really good about that heading into the weekend. I think you should bet on it as well. Dalescenter top play number 1. This right here. This is my lock of the universe. I'm 5-2 on lock of the universe bets in 2023, and we're going to make it 6-2. Guys, I get it. Chris Buescher is hot as fuck right now. There's nobody hotter in the Cup Series than Chris Buescher. 3 wins in the last 5. He's turned into a superstar in 2023 out of nowhere. Nobody expected it. RFK is better. Brad K's helping him win races. Brad K's been good. Himself, he's in the playoffs. They got the whole organization in the playoffs. after struggling in 2022. But Kevin Harvick is a fucking master at Darlington. 9 top 10s in his last 10 races and has beat Chris Buescher head-to-head in 9 of his last 10 races at Darlington. The one race he didn't was last year. And it's because Kevin Harvick's car just inexplicably caught on fire. And he had to get out. It's kind of what Brad Kay was doing last week at Daytona. That's why I think Brad Kay is a fucking genius for what he did. Shouldn't be a penalty. If you think it's a penalty, I think you're kind of an idiot, respectfully. But Kevin Harvick is a Darlington machine, right? Chris Buescher's been okay here. Hey, I think 2 top 10s his last 3 or 4 starts, hanging around 9th, 10th. But Kevin Harvick has been phenomenal at Darlington, no matter what he's been in, since he's been with Stewart-Haas Racing in particular. So I love Kevin Harvick over Chris Buescher, minus 120. This line is also courtesy of DraftKings. I don't know if it still exists. You're going to have to find out. I would bet Harvick up to minus 140 against Chris Buescher this weekend. 9 out of the last 10 races, he's beat Buescher head-to-head. I know some of those races for Chris include him in a JTG Daugherty car or maybe a front row car. Doesn't matter. Kevin Harvick is better at Darlington than Chris Buescher. They are in similar equipment. I think really for the scale of the entire season, if you want to throw in the intermediate factor, other than Chris Buescher's win at Michigan, I think Kevin Harvick has been better with raw speed at these intermediate style racetracks. So include that in there too. If Kevin Harvick doesn't have an engine problem, if he doesn't get involved in some crazy ass wreck, Kevin Harvick is going to beat Chris Buescher head to head. This is a lock of the universe. Dale Earnhardt patented bet, and we're going to be 6-2 on these bets after Sunday night. This is potentially a 3-unit play, in my opinion. Bet it up to minus 140. I don't know if I'd hammer it anything higher than that, though. So that is Dale Earnhardt. Dalescenter, top play number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a show, guys. Look, I'm about to go get my dick hazed off by my fantasy football league. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I will be tuned in. All the college football action. Really good time of year. Really good time of year. I'm going to draft my fantasy team for NFL football. Got to make a big comeback after what I did last year, drafting Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton. Really completely fucked my season. Oh, and DeAndre Swift, thank you for also fucking up my season. Really, really bad draft. I had a bad draft last year, and I'm going to pay for it tomorrow with getting hazed by my league. But I will stay tuned in to all the action at Darlington, South Carolina for the Southern 500 weekend. IndyCar at Portland. It's going to be a great weekend of racing, a great weekend of sports. Be sure to tell my friend Guy's Soccer Bet. Be sure to tell RotoDoc on what he gave us early in the program, and Garage Guy Chase. Along with myself, you can have a full platter of motorsports bets to bank on this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good show. Appreciate you guys. I hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend. It's redemption time at Darlington. It's fucking redemption time. I think we're going to sweep the weekend. It's going to be a blast. Appreciate everybody. Good luck. And let's fucking bag.